everybody. Welcome. Welcome, beautiful people. My name is Melissa, and I will be your cosmic guide today. I'm driving. I don't know if this will work. I'm driving through the mountains today, and it's kind of morning time. I've got a ways to go. And I thought I would share a little bit about navigating through the frequencies and the multi-dimensions and see if that could help a little bit. And tell a funny story about how I do it, because everything I do is sort of funny the way it sounds. And realizing as we are on our paths with our guides and guardian angels and stuff, it can be creative. We should be creative and be in that creation manifestation mode. It's fun, pleasant, good, harmonious. And so I started out this morning. I woke up really early, and I went out to the car and watched the sun come up over the mountains. And I was just asking, God, what can I do? The light, what can I do today to help and only be of highest good? And I also asked a little bit about what I could do to just move up in frequency, uplift a little bit. So we all have lags and lulls and pieces, and during this big shift that we're going through, some of the darkest, heaviest stuff that's ever been in the history of the planet and humanity is peeling away in institute. So I was like, how can I help and what can I do? Because I feel tired and I would really like a reprieve from some of my own trauma healing, some of my own navigation through shadow, which is what we've all been doing, right? For so many years and years. And I got a message in my mind, inside, which is how I receive things most of the time, about those dark energies. So if you're starseed, an empath, a twin flame, a soulmate, a rainbow child, crystalline child, an indigo, a teacher, a healer, all these things are being sort of blocked by the underbelly of the darkness, the little designs of the darkness, just to keep us in delay or keep us bound into that lower matrix. And so I asked God, I said, I've had faith for so long. What do you want me to do? Some of this is hard and sort of isolate. And so I went back into the motel that I was in, and I just thought, I'll lay down just for a few more minutes, because I woke up so early. And I'm in the mountains, so it's cold, and I'm in a little bitty car, so I want to make sure there was no ice on the road when I started it, and I needed sunlight. And I just fell asleep for a little while, 45, 50 minutes, and I just was dripping drool down my face, and that's the last thing I remember. And then I had this dream, which I don't always have dreams. Some of the architecture, the energetic architecture in my system was blocked. Some of the design, some of the trauma, some of the shadow blocked me from having dreams. So
there's a speed trap ahead.
Say, are you having dreams about me? I keep dreaming about you. It's not to be rude. I just am like, no, not really. Because we're all navigating and we're all moving around in that multi-dimensions. It's just mine's blocked off sometimes. It's my waking everyday moment that I have the visual, mystical knowing. So in the dream, I was in line with somebody, and we were getting food, and we were standing up at this big countertop waiting for the food, and the food came. They got the order wrong, and it was just loud. Sometimes, when you're empathic or real sensitive, some of the loud noises and things, or if you have PTSD, trauma, imprint, energy in you. So I was feeling annoyed, and whoever I was with was just like, that must be perfect, and that's how I feel in everyday life. Like I'm always catering to someone else. What is your idea of perfect? Let me help you. And so apparently in the dream I was working on that, because I was like, really? Like here? It was so weird, because we were eating catfish or something like that, which is, I can't imagine the last time I've had catfish in years. So the plate was wrong, we were supposed to pick it up, and they were saying, no, this is all wrong. I rolled my eyes and went down on the ground. Like, it's almost like I fainted in the middle of this restaurant thing. And I went, oh, good. I don't have to deal with this anymore. That's my mindset when I was feeling that fainting. It was unwinding. And inside, I'm laying on a cement floor. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. My face on a gross cement floor. That did occur to me. But then I went, oh, I'm unwinding some last stitches of whatever. For me in particular, there was a lot of spell work done to me, and the people around me were doing it, and just manipulation and lies and stuff of the past. I was like, oh, there's something about me that's getting to release some of the attachments to the past. All the work that I've been doing is worth it. Oh, awesome. And that's what I'm thinking as I'm in this, on the floor, on the cement floor. And I realized it was then, too, that I was also sort of aware that I was capable of kind of astral traveling and moving along. And I had prayed that morning for uplift into those higher frequencies, those pieces of me that were stuck in real low frequencies, in low places, in what we would say in shamanic work, like medicine work, fragmented pieces. What fragmented pieces of me are down in lower spaces being tortured still. And again, I was, just since birth, was in a space with real severe, dark, purposeful, magic, targeted hunting stuff. So some of those things remain in me that I'm working on clearing. And where my pieces of myself have been a little bit askew, most of the time, most of my pieces are happy and in order and in love and enjoying this world and living in the highest good. But there are some other pieces that are sad or scared or mad or all those things. So we've been working on that. And I could feel some of it move and almost like walk through a new layer into like a new doorway. And I'm like, I don't know which layers that was, but I'm welcome home. And I was thinking about like, oh, this is how I used to astral project all the time and communicate with my guides in a conscious, aware state, yes, yet still in kind of sleep or really deep meditation state, like, we're astral projecting. And I thought about how ridiculous and fun I make things all these years. So many years since I was a kid, I used to have a sign, or the sign was Ozzy Osbourne music. Just a song, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, something. Because he's one of my favorites, and I love music, and I'm all about art and creativity. Years and years and years ago, probably 30-something years ago, if I were to go into a dream state and I was supposed to be aware of what was going on in the dream state, a sign would be, I would hear Aussie music in the background, and all of a sudden I would go, oh, wait, excuse me, I need to pay attention. The other one, if it's negative, like if there's something negative that I need to know, or if I was in danger, was Tejano music, which is not my favorite, even though I lived in South Texas, and it's a good thing. So, not trying to knock Tejano or sell you on any Aussie either. But those were signs that my guides, my guardian angels, my higher self used to help me navigate through the multi-dimensions and to receive, be in alignment I was supposed to receive, as far as messages from spirit or messages from the light. And so it's been interfered with over the years, off and on purpose, by other people and other things. And I just wanted to just remind us all, we are breaking through that and coming out of the matrix. We're recognizing, just like Neo in the Matrix, it took him a while. He got beat up, he had to die a little bit, really bad things, and learn how to fly helicopters and do kung fu and things like that. It just takes a minute, right? We only had an hour and a half or whatever, so it was pretty quick. But all of us are going through those processes where we're realizing we're realigning with our true sacred truths, our knowledge, and that's each unique to each of us. However, we're still connected in the divine in these other layers. And so if it's helpful, and I hope it is, we are going through a really big phase, just a really long wave of cleansing some of the deepest wounds, traumas, generational curses, patterns, DNA stuff. Remember that double helix, we're cleansing that out and taking it back to the our original divine blueprint in our DNA and our electrical systems that we can't see, as well as the energetic systems of the cells and molecular structure of everything around us. So if someone says, oh, you should shut up and get over that, let that go, they don't know, because they haven't walked in your shoes, and they don't know what's been imprinted in you, and they don't know what's happened in your past lives. They don't know who has hated you and has focused their hatred and deep desire to control you, to violate your energy, to hope that you don't succeed, hope that you don't have love. They don't know. And so that's where there's a whole bunch of aspects going on. There's a whole bunch of factors where those pieces are being cleared out. So that is truly a beautiful thing, because the very fabric of the energy structures around us are being cleansed and cleared in us and around us, and it has to do with each of us in our own mind, body, spirit, soul forms. And everything that is not addressed will keep coming up until we address it, and we might not even know it's there. And some, like the starseeds, like the twin flames, are here to help cleanse this world and rebuild it. I always used to say, I actually would say it over and over, and I knew deeply, we're here to rewrite the scripts of humanity back into the blueprint of the templates, each template, like the Garden of Eden template that was tainted and turned upside down and inverted into the serpent, devil, fallen matrix that has illness and pain and fear and mob mentalities and yearning and suffering, hunger, and those things are being turned right side up. We don't know what to do with them yet, all the way. In some cases, but we're rewriting and holding those harmonious, happy for other people when they are finding, breaking through in their own journeys or steps or lives, or healing. When someone comes through has a breakthrough through really hard times, we want to hold that up for ourselves and for others. And so, that's what some of the people are here for, and that rewrites the scripts. We are having also, you might notice this if you're a person that connects with guides or guardian angels, since we are rising up in humanity's consciousness, and we are cleansing these templates like Atlantis. So there was really cool stuff about Atlantis, but it was dark, just like the earth has been for many millennia. Bondage, slavery, suffering a lot. And so the dark factions overtook everything. It was like way out of balance. This is what's happening here, and we're trying to balance out step by step. We have to do it in the laws of the universe, God's laws. And so if you're somebody that talks to guides and guardian angels or asks for help or signs from your angels, know that they are also ascending with us. They are also changing deeply, and you might notice some new ones, or new energies, new strengths, new pieces of who you are. And I did a little bit this morning. Kind of went back to the beginning. Like I've been very aware of this very similar wave phase, cycle endings and new beginnings many times in my lifetime, energetically, for all of humanity that wasn't paying attention. I'm like, no, we're going to wake up to this, and it has been. And this one's the biggest ever. We might have some new higher frequency energies, and the loved ones that are passed they are going, man, the mountains have snow all over. They're so pretty around. Our loved ones that are passed are also breaking free of all the things that happened to them, the illnesses, the curses, the suffering. And they've been on our teams. They're connected to us, and our hearts, our forms, our mind, body, spirit, soul. But they're also ascending, and they're different these days as they commit back into the circle of the light of God, the infinity, pure divine light, Christ energy, the heavenly energies, higher than before. There's no, like, the darkness made some it's almost like glass ceilings, so we couldn't get through. And some of those are being broken through, and that means in mass consciousness. That means in universal structure, architecture of the universe. It's shifting and growing. And if you want to, I would always get messages from like some guide that was sort of just had a little bit of music about them, and just a little bit of rock and roll, just like, I perceived him to be just a little bit rock and roll, really. I don't know, I'm a child of the 70s and the 80s, so he had some rock and roll going, and giant hair, and big lipstick. So, you can ask for those signs to realign for your highest good, and really become just extremely, like, intensely aware of your guidance groups. And one of my rock and roll ones is guides has been so present in the last months that I'm almost in shock. Like, I almost thought, man, this is even too much for me. Too much for me. So not only can I feel my divine counterpart in the 5D, sort of like sitting next to me, but I also can feel a couple of guides and guardian angels, loved ones. And I asked one of them, and there's a person, it wasn't necessarily my friend at all, but we had gone to school together, and I was one of the last people that saw him before he was murdered. It was an accident. I was just driving down the street and I saw him going into school, and I said hi. And a few hours later, he was murdered by some of the hometown homie things. You don't even ask what that's but all of that came full circle, because some of that was also, he was, how do I say this? Where we're from, it was one of the darkest behaving spaces, and still is. Stuff's going on there. So he's been with me over all the years. Sometimes I'm just always shocked, and I go, why are you with me? I didn't even know you very well. And others have got, had readings and asked about him, and he's come through in their readings. So really, I've only told one or two people that I have this guide that helps me. And he told me the other day, I go, why are you here? used to be, it was only in emergencies. Like I would only see him when it was something really bad was getting ready to happen, and I needed to stand up and move, go, get out of here. Not anymore. He's just a guide, and he's funny. He's kind of helping me connect in love with the right people, with the right layer of people, and away from some really bad intending people. So that, well, I guess there's, like, how do I get myself out of that lower matrix and away from grasping, yucky, very scary people. So I asked him, and he goes, well, I signed a contract with you. We had the same stuff happen to us. I just died and you didn't. I'm like, that's gross. He goes, yeah, I gotcha. And so he also was here, and he sends me little love songs to remind me to think in loving terms when I am too focused on what can I do, like in a lower frequency. And it's a little bit funny because I was with one of my friends, and the radio in the car kept coming on. Please don't tell anyone. This would not be probably my first choice, but Taylor Swift songs. And I was like, who's that? Like, I don't even know who that is, right? And then a little while later, like, none of our phones were on or connected to anything in the car. And then all of a sudden the radio turns on. Full blast. Taylor Swift. I'm like, what is that? I look it up and I just read the words, and he just laughs and laughs. My friend goes, your guide, I can see him. And I'm like, what? So, in a way, it's really fun to work with our guides, and who cares if someone thinks you're weird or crazy? Maybe they're real uptight and inattentive, or, maybe they're just not ever going to be the light like you are. But you can be creative with your guides and guardian angels. They like it. They want you to connect with them. They are different than they used to be 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 30 years ago for me. This person's been with me for 30 years, maybe? It was 1990, I think. 1989. So, when he passed. So, why don't you ask them to, they know you, they know your personalities, they know your passions, they know your truth. Why don't you ask them to help you and enhance stuff? And it doesn't have to be a loved one, it doesn't have to be a story like that. But you can ask your angels, like, show me today, how can I learn? Like, how can I lift up? How can I stay stabilized and in alignment in these higher frequencies, and write the scripts of the world, and you will get some answers. And it feels like I'm also supposed to tell you there's, in this big shift change, so many cool soul flame counterparts, like the starseed soulmates, the twin flames, and the unembedded, we're delousing and unembedding from the, I don't even like to call them karmics, but the people, because they are also part of our paths sometimes, or the dark ones were part of our paths, the soulless dark people in a way, but we're unstitching those energies and anything of past lives and all that stuff still. So I find it really beautiful, and your guides and guardian angels are really higher and higher frequencies, ready to play. The universe we get to play in, this beautiful world. Oh my God, this world is so beautiful. When we just stop being scared? I know that there are pandemics and sicknesses and shortages and lack, and part of that's the design of the system to keep us in fear and anger and separation and bullying each other, hating each other, thinking we're better than somebody else, and the misuses of power and stuff. Those things are going to come up in our face until we catch on. But there's a beautiful world that's really can be fun, and I'm creative and musical and colorful and artistic, and adventurer. And you don't have to be like me. You certainly don't have to have Ozzy Osbourne in your dreams every once in a while, just like nudging you along. I just think my little higher self created that to help me in a way that I would really enjoy, like what that I would, because this earth has been so. I mean, imagine all these years doing psychic medium readings, and people calling you names and trying to hunt you like prey and all these over and over, and that's not always fun. Everybody's excited about it, but it's death and destruction. So I like to add colorful, musical, interesting things, and so my guides sometimes are interesting to me. And there's one that plays music, so little Black Sabbath for me, that I like. And I grew up in the Midwest in the 70s, so I get to have me some Black Sabbath. And Prince is the other one, and every once in a while I'll hear some Prince music now when I'm doing that astral travel or in between worlds. So as we are all in between worlds, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, quite a bit lately, ask what you can have, perhaps as a sign. Mine will always be a little bit of music in the background, and my divine counterpart person, he sends music and says stuff like out of nowhere, like I'm back in black. Like, I hate that. It's just, he's kind of strong and pushy. Of course he is, because that's what I fit with. But also kind and gentle and the most amazing energy ever. Not pushy. He's not afraid. He's not challenged by telling me. And so he sends musical stuff and little quotes sometimes just to nudge at me. And what can be good for you like that? What will be good signs or connective pieces for you to hold that stability in those higher frequencies, so that you receive your true divine messages and truths. Yes, in the past, some of it could be tainted and distorted. We all have distortion. Yes, some of it could have been the false light. And everyone I know this is a tough one, but the religions and the New Age and the words and the way we do things have been so distorted, we're almost back to, it's almost like witch hunts and burning people at the stake, which I think is stupid. That's ridiculous. We need to clear that right now. Because that Christed light is for you. Christ is for you. And even if you don't use those words or like that path, that higher heavenly, as above, so below, above energy, the peace and the honesty and the truth and the integrity and stability and all those divine things that we have been yearning for, it is there for you and accessible. And you can ask your guides and guardian angels to show you how you can find them. As you go, we are in between worlds. Ask them to show you, and they'll just help you nudge forward. Your higher self will, and I think your loved ones in the light will also, their higher selves will also be willing to hold your hand and walk with you. If you cannot connect with them, or it's hard, that's the hardest thing sometimes. As all the years, people call me the angel lady and the psychic medium. And I don't care what words we use. I don't care if you use negative words, usually. The words we use don't really matter. But it's hardest for all of us when we have losses and pain to connect with our loved ones always. And our guides. So just ask, keep asking, because this is going to be fun. This part of into the Holy Trinity 333 portal, which would be March 3rd, energy, as we're coming through the 222, which would be the February 2nd. These are just beautiful times to reconnect in these higher frequencies and realize we're a little bit different. It's a beautiful thing. So, I hope talks to you in cool ways today and helps you realize some things that'll help you really give you some relief and uplift on your own journey. Little heart healing, little move forward, little abundance, little happiness, little warmth when it's so cold outside. You know, coming from Arizona, I was all kinds of white. This is where I got my scarf. I was on a vortex tour the other day, doing a vortex tour and readings, and it was in the mid-40s. It was pretty cold to sit. We sat out for readings, their readings, and it was so much fun when we started getting cold, and the lady she kept having this fuzz in her mouth. It's real fuzzy. She goes, I hate this scarf. I hate it. Do you want it? So this was my tip from my vortex tour. From some wonderful people in California. I enjoyed them very much. And as we said some prayers, 40 degrees. I had no idea because I woke up this morning. It was 21 here, and a little bit of snow coming in. And it's been a while since I've been around some snow, and I can all around this whole drive see the mountains and I can see Christ in everything today. The light in everything today. And with that, some of those lower energies are literally being cleansed out of our cleansed and cleared out of our mass consciousness. You can thank a light worker. You can thank them because they've been working on it for years and years. And those light warriors and those twin flames in particular, and starseed and soulmates, because they came in here to clear the heaviest load. So if you're pointing at someone saying, well, they should know better and I know better, and you can flip them off because they don't know. They're probably not very light.
There's a speed trap ahead.
Many blessings and awakening blessings and love to you all. And if you want an appointment or reading or anything, you can find the info down in the box, the webpage info.